Hey guys, and welcome back to What If Soul. I'm your host, Broken Soul, and it's time for a new episode of What If Ash Could Start Over. But before we get started, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let's see if we can reach our goal of hitting 1,000 subs before the end of the year. Now, let's get to the recap. Where we last left off, Ash and the gang were leaving Vermilion City, saying goodbye to their friends, Gary and Richie, whom decided to stay behind and stay with Professor Cerise for a little while. Meanwhile, Ash and the gang make their way over to Maiden's Peak, where they ran into the old Ghastly again like they did last time. However, this time, Ash was able to battle and capture his Gengar. A little bit after that, Ash and the gang were on their way over to Saffron City, where they made a little stop by a cliffside. And yes guys, that's right, Ash was able to finally reunite with his long-lost Butterfree. In fact, Butterfree wasn't alone. He had himself a mate and 2 children with him too, baby Caterpies. After reuniting with his very first catch ever, Ash and the gang finally made their way over to Saffron City, where Ash had actually offered to Butterfree to capture him and his family and have them all transport to Professor Oak's place, where he would have all of his Pokemon help protect and raise his family. Butterfree agrees to this. In addition to that, Ash also requests that Butterfree joins him in his next battle against Sabrina. Butterfree happily accepts this. We can now move on to the next day, where Ash, Misty, and Brock are all waiting outside of the Pokemon Center, ready for a battle, where Ash says, "Sabrina of the Saffron City Pokemon Gym, I am Ash Ketchum of Palatine, and I've come to challenge you for your Marsh Badge." It's here that the story picks right up. Ash made his little declaration with pure confidence, but all that bravado goes right out the window when, out of nowhere, the gym doors just swing right open with an ominous tone and I'm saying, "Enter my gym." Ash is scared down to his core. Brock and Misty are basically 50 feet from the door saying, "Good luck, Ash, go and get her." Ash is looking at his friends with a little bit of some anger going, "Cowards." But he still makes his way in. Upon entering the gym, Ash makes his way to the back where the battlefield's at. Once he enters, he notices that it's dark and quiet. He actually asks if anyone's there. That's when the lights all flicker on, and Ash sees at the end of the stadium Sabrina sitting on her throne just like she did last time. Floating her way down to the battlefield, she says, "Well, I see you've managed to get yourself stronger since the last time we fought each other, champion. Care to try again?" Now Ash knows why Sabrina knows he's the champion. Of course, everyone else does. But he is still terrified at the fact that she knows it. She is still one of Kanto's strongest after all. Just then, Sabrina's father actually teleports in saying, "Sabrina, that's enough, don't scare the boy." Sabrina actually gets a smile on her face going, "Alright, I apologize." Side note, so I bet you guys are wondering, why is Sabrina being more playful? Well, let's face it, after spending as long as she has with Ash's old haunter, she kind of learned how to mellow out and just relax, you know? But she still keeps her stoicism for whenever she has to do a gym battle or public events or anything like that, just to still show that she is still Saffron's #1 gym leader for a reason. Back to the story. Ash is actually looking a little dumbfounded going, "Wait, you're not super serious like you were last time?" Sabrina's father actually chiming in saying, "Don't you worry, Ash. Sabrina's actually mellowed out a lot since last time. She still does keep her stoicism for the gym, but that's more for appearances than anything else. Behind closed doors, she's become one of the most friendliest people you ever meet." Sabrina nodding, confirming this, going, "It's true. I've actually been able to reconnect with my parents, and I even apologized to some of the old trainers who've run by here whom I've kind of scared off. But despite that, they still couldn't beat me in a gym battle. I'm hoping you can finally give me a battle worth having." Ash smiles at this going, "Oh yeah, I actually want to." Ash actually taking a second to look around going, "Wait, where's the crowd at?" That's when Sabrina answers him saying, "Yeah, I prefer to keep our battles private. I don't like crowds all that much. Personally, the cameras, the announcers, all that different stuff kind of annoys me." Somewhere in Kanto, Tracy sneezes. Oh, we love you, Tracy. Never change. Sabrina further continuing going, "I've actually spread some false information around, saying that our battle wouldn't happen until tomorrow, giving us today to enjoy our battle to the fullest extent, without any meaningless distractions." Ash then going, "Huh, alright then." Personally, all the cameras in crowd was kind of starting to annoy me a little bit. It's nice to have a relaxing battle amongst friends. That's when Sabrina's father says, "Speaking of friends, I'll be right back." Before he teleports out, then teleports back in with both of Ash's friends. Misty and Brock are scared out of their minds, thinking that they got transported back into the toy box like last time, But no, they just got transported to being in the middle of the battlefield. That's when Sabrina's father gets them both up to speed. The two of them actually calming down and actually getting to know Sabrina. Brock even trying a little bit to flirt with her, but the second he tries something, it's not Misty, but Sabrina's father who chimes in going, "Don't even think about it, son." That's when Brock shakes going, "Yes, sir. Sorry, sir," before making his way to the stands. Misty following right behind him, patting his back going, "It's okay, buddy, next time." Brock, we salute you, man. One of these days. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, guys, remember, I'll give Brock a date. Anyway, back to the story. Right after Brock and Misty make their way to the stands, Sabrina's father actually says, "Alright then, well, if you kids are ready, I'd like to referee this battle. So if you guys could please make your way to your sides of the field, we can get started. Or Ash, do you need to do anything to get yourself ready?" That's when Ash actually stands firm going, "Nope, I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Let's get this thing started." Sabrina actually teleports to her side of the box, going, "Alright then, Daddy, would you please explain the rules to Ash?" Sabrina's father then going, "Alright dear. Today's match will be a full 6-on-6 Pokemon battle between Sabrina of the Saffron City Pokemon Gym and Ash Ketchum of Pallet Town, champion of Alola. The rules are simple. The winner will be decided when one side has all 6 Pokemon defeated. Furthermore, because this is an official gym battle, only the challenger may make substitutions. Any questions?" Neither trainer says a thing. Alright then, will both trainers please bring out their first Pokemon? That's when Sabrina has a Pokeball teleport right in front of her. She says coldly, "Come out, Hypno." Sabrina's Hypnosis Pokemon hits the battlefield, ready to go. That's when Ash holds up a Pokeball, looking at it saying, "Alright, old friend, I know it's been a while since the last time we fought together, but I'm counting on you for this battle. Let's go, Butterfree!" Ash's Butterfly Pokemon makes its way onto the field, just staring down Hypno. Butterfree actually cracked its neck. It is so ready for a battle, it's actually shaking with excitement. Back at the stands, Misty actually looks over at Brock going, "Brock, do you think Butterfree can handle this?" Brock going, "I'm not entirely sure, Misty. None of us have seen Butterfree since the day it left Ash. For all we know, it could be an entirely different monster altogether. But let's see what the battle has in store for us." Back at the battlefield, Sabrina's father holds up both hands going, "Alright then, battle, begin." That's when the match starts off, with Sabrina commanding Hypno. "Hypno, use Psybeam." Hypno launching out a powerful psychic energy wave right at Butterfree. Ash telling Butterfree to dodge, Butterfree dodging out of the way. That's when he makes his counter move. "Now, Butterfree, use Psychic." Butterfree actually holds Hypno in his Psychic Aura for a quick second, picking it up, slamming it right down into the battlefield. Ash is actually amazed. "Wow, Butterfree, you're insanely strong and quick. You dodged and counterattacked it perfectly." Butterfree getting a little blush on his face. It liked the compliment. It's also excited to show Ash what it can do after all this time. Sabrina is actually impressed going, "Impressive. That Butterfree is pretty strong. How long have you two been together for?" That's when Ash explains the whole Butterfree situation. This actually intrigues Sabrina's father going, "Impressive. The bond this lad shows with his Pokemon is so strong that even after years of being separated, the two of them can still work together cohesively. Well, this just made this battle very interesting." Sabrina further commanding Hypno, "Now, Hypno, Confuse Ray." Hypno actually launching out a Confuse Ray right at Butterfree. It hits right on target. Butterfree is confused for a second. Ash calling out, "Butterfree, no, shake it off." But Butterfree isn't listening to a thing Ash is saying. In fact, it's starting to slam itself onto the ground, hurting itself. That's when Sabrina calls out for her next move. "Now, Hypno, Hyper Beam." Hypno is charging up a Hyper Beam, blasting it straight for Butterfree. But before it can hit, Ash holds up the Pokeball, returning Butterfree. Butterfree just barely got out of the way in time. Ash looking at his Pokeball going, "Don't worry, Butterfree, we're gonna switch out for now. But don't worry, you'll be back." Sabrina is actually mocking Ash a little bit going, "So, I see you wanted to run away instead of face me. I thought you were a champion." This gets Ash a little bit mad going, "Hey, don't mark my championship title. I worked hard to get it." Ash is nothing more as he pulls out a brand new Pokeball, calling out, "Alright then, let's go, Noctowl." Ash is Johto Bird, makes his way onto the battlefield, flapping, ready for a fight. Sabrina's father going, "Alright then, new battle, start." Ash, without even hesitation, says, "Now, Noctowl, use Air Slash." Noctowl launching out several blades of air, heading straight for Hypno. Sabrina calling out for Hypno, "Hypno, use Psybeam." The psychic attack hitting Noctowl's Air Slash, the two moves collide, producing a small explosion, dissipating the two moves. Right after that, Ash calls out, "Now, Noctowl, Air Relays, getting close!" Noctowl moving with incredible speed, heading straight for Hypno. But Sabrina calls out, "Hypno, use Hypnosis." But before Hypno can finish off the Hypnosis, Noctowl is already right on top of it, hitting Hypno with everything it's got right in his midsection, notching it backwards. Hypno goes sliding back. Ash calling out a follow-up move. "Now, quick, Noctowl, walls down! Use Shadow Ball, finish it!" Noctowl, forming a Shadow Ball, launches it straight for Hypno. Just as Hypno gets back up, it gets hit directly on target again by the Shadow Ball, knocking it down, knocking it out. Sabrina's father calling out, "Hypno was unable to battle. The winner is Noctowl." Noctowl makes his way back to Ash, where Ash gives it a big ol' hug, thanking it for the hard work. It really has been a while since the two of them worked together. Sabrina, not saying a word, just coldly returns Hypno to his Pokeball. However, she does nod at the Pokeball as she puts it away. Sabrina actually calls to Ash out, going, "Well, so you have got stronger. Let's see how you do with this next one. Jinx, come on out, please." Sabrina's Icy Psychic type makes its way to the battlefield. It's ready. Sabrina's father calling out, "Alright then, Noctowl versus Jinx. Battle, begin." That's when Sabrina calls out, "Now Jinx, use Psychic." Jinx, using Psychic on Noctowl, actually holds it in place, pulling it straight for her. That's when Sabrina calls out the combo move, "Now, Ice Punch." Ashton calling out, "No, Noctowl!" Noctowl's being pulled in by the Psychic energy, then gets punched right in its midsection, hitting the ground hard by the Ice Punch. A small crater formed right where Noctowl hit. It's down, but it's not out yet. It's still ready to go. It's barely able to just climb right out. Ash calling out, "Noctowl, quick! You're still in close! Use Shadow Ball right at Jinx." Noctowl turning around, launching at a Shadow Ball. But Sabrina calls, "Use Psychic again." Jinx, using its Psychic, holds the Shadow Ball in place, launching it away, deflecting it somewhere else. Ash using that as a distraction, saying, "Now, Aerial Ace." Noctowl launches toward Jinx, hitting Jinx with everything it's got. But unfortunately, Noctowl must have been hit harder than it thought, because it did not do it that much damage. As Sabrina calls, "Finish this. Blizzard." Jinx, at point blank range, hits Noctowl right with the Blizzard, nearly freezing it right where it's at. Noctowl goes down, skidding back several feet. It barely has enough energy just to even hold its head up. Its entire left side is completely frozen. That's when Ash goes, "No, Noctowl, quick, use Psychic on the ice. Try and break it." Noctowl's doing just that, just slowly chipping away the ice more and more and more. That's when Sabrina calls one more time, "Ice Punch, finish it." Jinx, moving surprisingly quick, closes the distance like nothing. By the time Noctowl chips away the last of the ice and flies away, Jinx is already on top of it, launching out an Ice Punch, just barely missing Noctowl. That's when Ash calls, "Now, Noctowl, Air Slash." Noctowl launching out Air Slash hits Jinx right on its head, knocking Jinx down. Jinx is dazed, but is still ready for a fight. Sabrina calling one more time for a Psychic. Jinx grabs onto Noctowl with its Psychic ability, then slamming it over its head right into the ground next to another crater. Noctowl is knocked out. Sabrina's father calling out, "Noctowl is unable to battle. Jinx is the winner." Ash, returning Noctowl, says, "Thank you, Noctowl. I appreciate the hard work. Please, get some rest and leave the rest of it to us." Back at the stands, Brock actually goes, "So, they're both down one Pokemon." Misty going, "Yeah, but don't forget though, Ash's Butterfree has taken some damage from that confusion. When will he bring him back out?" Brock going, "I'm not too sure, but let's see what happens." Back at the battle, Ash is trying to figure out, who do I bring out next? Pulling out a Pokeball, Ash thinks to himself, "Alright, I was hoping to save this guy for later on, but I guess I'm going to use him now. Let's go, Incineroar!"
And his name is John C.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. I'm so. Oh, got my side. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Back to the battle. I'm sorry. Okay. That's when Sabrina's father calls. Alright then. Jinx versus Incineroar. Battle, begin. Sabrina calling out the first move. Used Blizzard. Jinx launching out a massive Blizzard right for Incineroar. That's when Ash calls out, "Now, Incineroar, dodge it!" Incineroar dodging it the quickest that it can. That's when Ash calls out, "Now, Flamethrower, counterattack it!" Incineroar launching out a Flamethrower right at Jinx. The Flamethrower hits Jinx right on the money, doing insane damage. Because it was super effective, it knocks Jinx down and out. Sabrina's father then calling out, "Jinx is unable to battle. The winner is Incineroar." Incineroar is celebrating, flexing its massive muscles. Ash then going, alright Incineroar, you're doing fantastic. Sabrina returning Jinx, she just looks over at Ash going, so, a dark and fire type, huh? Alright then. Please, come out Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime coming out, mimicking Incineroar by actually flexing the exact same way it does. This actually makes Incineroar a little bit upset, thinking that the Mr. Mime is trying to take its spotlight. Sabrina's father calling out, Mr. Mime versus Incineroar. Battle, begin. Incineroar is actually getting mad, turning around to Ash as if it's anticipating. Please give me a command. Give me something right now. Ash calling out, alright then. Now, Incineroar, Darkest Lariat. Incineroar spins with incredible speed like a little tornado, making his way toward Mr. Mime. That's when Sabrina calls to Mr. Mime going, Mr. Mime, protect. Mr. Mime putting up a barrier to protect itself. Incineroar hits the barrier, actually bouncing off to protect. This throws off Incineroar for a second, actually losing its footing for a minute. That's when Sabrina takes advantage of the situation, telling Mr. Mime, Shadow Ball. Mr. Mime launching out a Shadow Ball straight for Incineroar. It hits right on its face, knocking it back a few feet, hitting the ground with a loud thud. Ash calling out, Incineroar, are you okay? Incineroar gets back up. That last attack did some damage, but not enough to keep Incineroar down. Ash calling out, alright then. Keep your distance. Flamethrower. Incineroar launching out a flamethrower at Mr. Mime, but Sabrina calls to Mr. Mime saying, use Mimic. Mr. Mime launching out a flamethrower of its own, the two moves collide with each other, but that's when Ash calls out, come on Incineroar, you're stronger with fire type moves. Do it! Incineroar actually launching out a stronger flamethrower, it overpowers Mr. Mime's, covering in flames. Mr. Mime is pushed back. That's when Sabrina calls out, Mr. Mime, now. Use Shadow Ball one more time. Mr. Mime getting back up, launching at a Shadow Ball right for Incineroar. Incineroar is actually caught off guard because after it overpowered Mr. Mime's flamethrower, it actually started to boast for a bit, laughing maniacally. But again, all that bravado went out the door once it got hit with the Shadow Ball. Knocking it down one more time. Ash calling out, Incineroar, please pay attention. But Incineroar just laughs and sweat drops a bit, getting back up, getting serious again. Ash calling out, now, move in close, Fire Fang. Incineroar running as quick as it can, getting as close as it can to Mr. Mime. Sabrina calling out, confusion. Mr. Mime's going to launch out of confusion, trying to hold Incineroar, but Incineroar is too strong, making its way toward Mr. Mime, biting down, knocking Mr. Mime down. Ash calling out, now, Incineroar, launch Mr. Mime. Incineroar picks up Mr. Mime with its entire body, slamming it down into the ground. Mr. Mime is knocked down, knocked out. Sabrina's father calling out, Mr. Mime is unable to battle. The winner is Incineroar. Ash and Incineroar are celebrating. That's already 2 Pokemon that Incineroar is knocked out. Sabrina returns Mr. Mime saying, thank you, Mr. Mime. Now I know what I'm dealing with. Sabrina calling out to Ash going, Ash, do you remember what I told you earlier? About how I've been reconnecting with my family, all because of a certain someone you left here? Ash is going, yeah. Sabrina bringing out a Pokeball, saying, would you like to see them again? Ash is in complete disbelief. Wait, Haunter? But Sabrina corrects him going, no, not Haunter. Gengar. Before launching at the Pokeball, out pops out Sabrina's Gengar. This Gengar you can tell is a little bit bigger than the one Ash is using, and it's a little bit more ferocious too. You can tell it's still a trickster, but it is ready for a fight. Ash actually calling out to Incineroar saying, Incineroar, please be careful, we have no idea what this Gengar is capable of. It was trained by one of Kanto's finest. Incineroar actually taking a more serious stance, actually nodding its head, agreeing that it's ready for a fight. Gengar versus Incineroar. Battle, begin. That's when, without even blinking, Sabrina calls out to her Gengar saying, Gengar, now. Thunderbolt. Ash is surprised going, Gengar can learn Thunderbolt? Gengar launching out Thunderbolt straight for Incineroar. The Thunderbolt hits true, hitting Incineroar with everything it's got. It's actually doing major damage to the Fire Cat. That's when Ash calls out, no, Incineroar, quick, Darkest Lariat, get out of there. That's when Incineroar starts spinning rapidly, dissipating the electricity, making its way for Gengar getting ready to hit. Incineroar hits it. It's effective, but it doesn't do too much damage. That's when Sabrina calls out, now, at close range, Dark Pulse. That's when Gengar launching at a Dark Pulse at point blank range, right into Incineroar's stomach, launching it high into the ceiling, having it hit with the Dark Pulse energy. Incineroar makes its way down to the ground, hitting the battlefield, knocking it down, knocking it out. Ash calling out, no, Incineroar! Sabrina's father makes the call. Incineroar is unable to battle. Gengar wins. That's when Ash returns Incineroar, saying, "Thank you so much, Incineroar. You brought us back. Now, I'm not gonna let it be in vain." That's when Ash holds up a new Pokeball going, "Alright then, here we go. Let's go, Gengar!" That's when Ash's ghosting poison type Pokemon makes its way to the battlefield. Both Gengar are staring each other down, both determined to make a win out for themselves. Sabrina calling out to Ash going, "Let's see who's better at training ghosts, you or me." Sabrina's father raising up both hands going, "Alright, Gengar versus Gengar. Battle, begin." Sabrina making the first move saying, "Now, Will-O-Wisp." That's when ghostly flames make their way straight for Gengar, engulfing it in flames, burning it badly. Ash going, "Aw man, burn this early?" Back up at the stands, Misty looks over to Brock going, "Burn this quickly?" Brock going, "Yeah, I know. Ash is on the clock now. He has to finish this battle fast, otherwise that Will-O-Wisp will take out Gengar before he has the chance to fight." That's when Ash calls out to Gengar going, "Gengar, we have to end this thing quickly. Are you ready?" Gengar nods. It's ready to go. Ash giving it a counterattack. Now, Gengar, Shadow Ball. Gengar launching out a Shadow Ball right for Sabrina's Gengar. That's when Sabrina calls out, "Now, use Thunderbolt." Sabrina's Gengar launching out a Thunderbolt, hitting the Shadow Ball right on target, stopping it right in its tracks. The move explodes, launching a dust cloud, concealing Sabrina's Gengar. That's when Sabrina calls out, "Now, hide in the shadow and get in close." Sabrina's Gengar moving in the shadows as quick as it can, making its way toward Gengar. Ash saying, "Oh no you don't. Gengar, you do the same." Gengar retreating to its own shadow, making its way toward the other two. The two shadows are going back and forth, back and forth. But that's when Ash calls out, "Now, Ice Punch! See if you can freeze it in place." Gengar actually launching out an Ice Punch right from its shadow, hits Sabrina's Gengar. Even though you can't see it, you can tell it does major damage to one of the shadows. Sabrina calling out, "Now, Thunderball." Honestly, it looks more like it's two pieces of paper battling at this point. The two ghosts are going back and forth, neither one letting up an inch. That's when Ash and Sabrina both call at the same time, "Now, use Shadow Ball." The two Gengar actually leap out of their shadows, launching Shadow Balls directly at each other at the exact same point. Both moves actually skid right past each other, heading for their respective target, hitting them both right at the mark. Gengar goes down hard. It gets up slowly, but it gets burned from the effect of Will-O-Wisp. Sabrina's Gengar gets hit and gets skid back, but it gets back up. None worse for wear. Ash is thinking to himself, "We've got to end this quickly." Now, Gengar, launch Shadow Ball after Shadow Ball. Hurry! Gengar just launching one after the other. Dozens of Shadow Balls making their way towards Sabrina's Gengar. Sabrina calling out, "Now, Gengar, Dark Pulse, blow them all away." Gengar just launching out one giant Dark Pulse, destroying all the Shadow Balls, producing explosion after explosion. But as it was destroying all the different Shadow Balls, Sabrina's Gengar didn't see that a shadow actually made its way right in front of its feet. That's when Ash calls out, "Now, Nightshade!" Sabrina going, "What?" That's when Gengar pops out of its shadow, hitting Sabrina's Gengar by point blank range with a Nightshade. Sabrina's Gengar goes skidding back, hitting the ground hard, getting knocked out in the process. Ash is about to cheer on for Gengar, but Gengar gets burned one more time, enough to actually take it down as well. It's a double knockout. Sabrina's father makes the call. Both Gengar are unable to battle. It's a draw. Both trainers return their Gengar, thanking them for their well-fought battle. Ash, with a smile on his face, calls out to Sabrina going, "Sabrina, this is a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying the battle." Sabrina actually giving a small smile going, "I'm enjoying myself too, Ash. To think, last time you were here, you were just some idiot trainer who first started out. Now, you're actually a challenge." If you listen quietly, you can hear Misty and Brock snickering in the sands along with Pikachu. Ash getting a little bit annoyed at this, saying, "Hey, I wasn't that bad, but yeah, you're right. It is more fun when I actually know what I'm doing." Sabrina's father calling out, "Alright, will both trainers please bring out their next Pokemon?" Sabrina brings out a new Pokeball, Ash doing the same. Sabrina calling out first, "Please, help me out, Slowbro." That's when Sabrina's Slowbro makes its way to the battlefield. It's ready to go. Ash thinking to himself, "Slowbro, huh? Alright, I guess I made the right choice with this guy. Let's go, Weasel!" Ash's Water Weasel makes its way onto the battlefield. It's ready to go. You can tell it's been waiting for a chance to battle. Missy's actually surprised going, "When did Ash get a Weasel?" Brock then explained to her, "Oh yeah, Ash caught him back in Sinnoh. This is one of Ash's Pokemon that loves to battle ferociously, similar to that of Charizard." Back at the battle, Sabrina's father calls out, "Weasel versus Slowbro. The battle begins." Sabrina making the first call. "Now, Future Sight." Slowbro actually launching out an attack, that's being sent into the future. It'll come back in a few turns. Ash is getting worried going, oh man, let's see if we can end this quick before that comes in and takes us out. Ready, Breezel? Breezel turning its head, it's ready to go. Ash then going, awesome. Alright then, now, Aqua Jet. Breezel launching itself out into an Aqua Jet, hits Slowbro right in its midsection, knocking it back. It really didn't do much damage, but at the very least, it got the battle started. Sabrina then calling out, now at close range. Hydro Pump, show it the power of a real water type move. Slowbro launching a Hydro Pump straight from its mouth, hitting Breezel directly at point blank range, launching it back, making a small crater on the way back to Ash. Ash is getting worried. Breezel, are you okay? Can you keep going? Breezel's ready to go. It got right back up. Ash calling out, alright then, let's try and keep distance. Now, use Water Gun. Breezel launching out a Water Gun, but Sabrina calls out, pathetic. Now, Blizzard. Slowbro launching out a Blizzard basically freezes the Water Gun right in place, almost reaching Breezel's mouth before Ash will stop. Breezel almost got frozen right then and there, but that's when Ash and Breezel both remembered. Wait a minute. Blizzard. Ice. Alright, let's do that. Now, Breezel, Aqua Jet, one more time. Breezel using an Aqua Jet makes its way straight for Slowbro at incredible speeds, but that's when Sabrina calls out, you arrogant fool. Now, Slowbro, Blizzard, one more time. Freeze it in place. That's when Slowbro launches out of Blizzard right for Breezel. Ash calling out, now, spin! Breezel, twisting its entire body while still in the Aqua Jet, takes the full force of the Blizzard. However, Breezel does get frozen, but it makes its way straight for Slowbro, hitting it right on the mark. Brock actually exclaiming, wait, they're doing Ice Aqua Jet? Misty going, Ice Aqua Jet? Brock actually explaining to Misty how Breezel and Ash were able to come up with that move, and Sinnoh, it helped them win many battles. Misty's actually impressed going, wow, that's insanely cool. How come I never thought of that? Back at the battle, you can tell Breezel's getting tired from fatigue, but Slowbro's actually starting to feel some of those attacks. Ash calling out, Breezel, use Aqua Jet one more time, get in close. Breezel launching out one more Aqua Jet, getting in as close as it can. Sabrina calling out, Slowbro, Zen Headbutt. Slowbro launching forward, getting ready to hit Breezel's Aqua Jet. But Ash tells Breezel to dodge. Breezel making a full 90-degree turn, dodges the Zen Headbutt. Slowbro actually hits the ground right where Breezel used to be at. But that's when Ash calls out, now at point blank range, use Brick Break. Breezel slamming its fist down in the back of Slowbro's head, knocks it down to the ground. Ash calling out one more time, now, while it's down, Ice Punch. Breezel, coating its other hand in pure ice energy, hits Slowbro on the mark, freezing it right in place. You can tell Sabrina's actually starting to get worried about Slowbro, but Ash calls out, we're not done yet. Now, Brick Break, finish it. That's when at the last second, the Future Sight hits Breezel right in its side, knocking it down to the ground, knocking it out. Sabrina's father calling out, Breezel is no longer able to battle. The winner is Slowbro. However, Slowbro is still frozen. But that's when Sabrina calls out, Zen Headbutt one more time. Slowbro, using the power of Zen Headbutt, actually frees itself from the ice. It's still ready to go, although it is a bit winded. Ash thinking to himself as he returns Breezel, man, Sabrina's one tough trainer. Thank you, Breezel. I really appreciate it. Thinking to himself, Ash goes, alright, let's think for a second. I could bring back Butterfree, or I could use, maybe, yeah. Alright, let's do that. Holding up a Pokeball, Ash calls out, Sabrina, are you ready? Because this next Pokemon has been waiting for a long time to want to fight against a powerful opponent. Sabrina actually raises an eyebrow going, really? Tell me, who is it? Ash calls out, I choose you, Quilava! Ash's Fire Johto starter makes its way onto the battlefield. Spouting fire from its head and tail right away, you can tell it's ready for a fight. Nothing's gonna stop it. That's when Sabrina's father makes the call. Alright, Quilava versus Slowbro. Battle begin. Without hesitation, Ash is called right away. Now, Quilava, Flame Wheel. Quilava, engulfing itself in flames, makes its way straight for Slowbro, hitting it right on the target. Slowbro goes skidding back a few feet. Sabrina then calling out, now, Slowbro. Hydro Pump. Finish this quickly. Slowbro launching a Hydro Pump straight from its mouth. But that's when Ash calls out, oh no you don't. Now, Quilava, Overheat. Quilava, summoning every single ounce of flame it can't muster all into one attack, launches the powerful fire type move, straight for the Hydro Pump. The two moves clash to each other. There's a large steam cloud forming up. However, due to the previous battle, Hydro Pump is not doing as strong as it should be. Quilava's Overheat is actually overpowering the move, actually making its way straight for Slowbro, hitting it directly on target, actually engulfing the Pokemon in flames, knocking it down, knocking it out. Sabrina's father makes the call. Slowbro is unable to battle. The winner is Quilava. Ash is cheering on Quilava. Quilava is pretty excited itself. It's so pumped it's ready to keep on going. Sabrina recalls her Slowbro, thanking it for the battle. Thank you, old friend. Please rest. Bringing out her final Pokeball, she looks at it, determined, saying, Alright then, friend. Please, lend me your strength. Looking over to Ash, she calls out, Ash, you should feel honored. You actually have me on the ropes. But, savor this while you can. It won't last long. Ash and Quilava are actually getting really serious. Ash asking, what makes you say that? Because I'm using my partner. Let's go, Alakazam. Sabrina's Kanto Psychic type Pokemon makes its way onto the battlefield. Both spoons twirling in hand. Ash actually thinking to himself, is that same Kadabra that gave us such a hard time last time? Man, I can tell Sabrina's really worked hard with it. It's super strong. Quilava, can you keep going? Quilava just turned its head toward Ash. It's ready to go. Quilava is actually spouting a small puff of fire. It's more than ready to go. Ash then actually getting a smile on his face going, okay. That's when Sabrina's father announces, alright, Alakazam versus Quilava. Battle, begin. Ash calling out, now, Quilava, Flame Wheel, quick! Engulfing its body in flames one more time, Quilava makes its way straight for Alakazam. But Sabrina is ready for this, calling out, now, Alakazam, use Psychic, hold it in place. Alakazam holds the Flame Wheel in place, letting Quilava just burn away its flames. Ash thinking to himself, oh no, not again. That's what Sabrina calls, do it. Alakazam does the exact same thing to Quilava that it did to Pikachu, just launching it up into the ceiling and then back down to the floor over and over again. Ash is thinking to himself, I gotta stop this before Quilava gets knocked out. That's when Ash calls out, alright then, Quilava, quick, use Overheat straight down. That's when Quilava, launching out another Overheat, not as powerful as the last one, but launches it straight down to the ground, right where it's at. The flames spark everywhere, actually a few of them are hitting out Alakazam, forcing it to lose concentration, letting go of Quilava. Ash calling out a follow-up move. Now, Quilava, Wild Charge! Quilava actually sparking with electricity, makes its way toward Alakazam, hitting it right in his midsection. Alakazam goes skidding back. It felt that one. Sabrina then calling out, now, Psycho Cut. Alakazam launching out energy waves of psychic energy, making their way straight for Quilava. The move makes direct contact on Quilava, hitting it hard on its side, skidding it back. Ash is getting worried at Quilava, saying, Quilava, no, please! Quilava is getting up slowly, but it's still determined to keep going. Ash is looking down, concerned at its little Joe starter. It's thinking it might recall it so it can switch out for Butterfree. But before Ash can complete that thought, Quilava snaps at Ash, looking at him with determined eyes. It doesn't need to say a thing. Its eyes can do all the talking for it. Keep me in. This actually stuns Ash for a second, but Ash respects Quilava's determination, nodding his head, going, alright, Quilava, then let's finish this off. Now, getting close with Flame Wheel. Quilava, engulfing itself in flame one more time, makes its way straight for Alakazam. It actually hits Alakazam, but Sabrina calls out, now, use Thunder Punch. Ash is going, Thunder Punch? Alakazam coats its fist in electricity, hitting Quilava right in its head, hitting it straight into the ground, making a small crater, but Quilava is not done yet. Ash calling out, now, Double Kick. Quilava hitting once, twice on Alakazam's chin, actually launching it up, where Ash calls out, now, Overheat! Quilava launching another Overheat, but this one's super weak compared to the first one. It hits Alakazam right in the middle of its face, launching it backwards. Alakazam hits the ground hard. It gives back up slowly. You could tell it's done some major damage. A few more hits and it'll go down, but the same can be said for Quilava. That's when Sabrina calls out the final move. Now, Hyper Beam. Alakazam, focusing all of its energy it can onto its spoons, charges by Hyper Beam, launching it straight for Quilava. Ash telling Quilava to use Wild Charge to dodge. Quilava tries to dodge it, but it's just way too hurt and way too exhausted. The Hyper Beam makes its way to it, hitting Quilava right on the point. A large explosion rattles the entirety of the gym, producing a large dust cloud. No one can see what's going on. By the time the dust dissipates, you can see Quilava is knocked out. Sabrina's father making the call. Quilava is no longer able to battle. Alakazam takes it. Ash can't believe what happened. Quilava was taken out so brutally by that Alakazam. Returning out Quilava, Ash just looks at the Pokeball saying, thank you so much, old friend. Please, get some rest. That's when Ash brings out his final Pokeball. It's his Butterfree. Ash looks at it and says, "Please, Butterfree, you're my last hope." Let's go, Butterfree! Butterfree making his way back onto the battlefield, it's more than ready to make up for what happened with Hypno. Looking over at the stands, Butterfree could see its family cheering it on, and Butterfree is ready to show it exactly what it can do. Making the final call, Sabrina's father announces, "Alright, this will be the final battle of the match. Sabrina's Alakazam versus Ash's Butterfree. Battle, begin!" Sabrina calling out a Psycho Cut, but Alakazam has to wait a minute for it to recharge the Hyper Beam. Ash, then taking advantage of this, says, "Butterfree, get in close, quick, use Quiver Dance." Butterfree launching the Quiver Dance right at Alakazam, it does some massive damage to it. Ash making a follow-up. "Now, Butterfree, quick, grab hold of it, use Giga Drain." Butterfree grabbing hold of Alakazam, it drains as much energy as it can, replenishing its own from earlier. However, this is exactly what Sabrina wanted, as she tells Alakazam, "Now, Thunder Punch." Alakazam, coating his fist in electricity, punches at Butterfree right in its stomach, launching it away from itself. That did massive damage and was super effective. Butterfree hits the ground hard. Ash is actually concerned, saying, "No, Butterfree!" But Butterfree is getting up slowly. You can tell Butterfree's stunned, but it can keep going. Alakazam, on the other hand, it looks like it's ready to collapse at any second now. Ash and Butterfree need to keep up the pressure. That's when Sabrina calls out, "Now, Psychic." Alakazam using Psychic when Ash calls out, "Now, Butterfree, use your Psychic." Butterfree captures Alakazam in its own Psychic. The two of them are actually stalemating for a second. While to the naked eye, it looks like there's nothing happening, on the inside, both Pokemon are struggling immensely, focusing their Psychic abilities to keep the other in check. It's a mental battle. That's when Sabrina switches things up, saying, "Now, Psycho Cut." Alakazam launching out the powerful Psychic move right for Ash's Butterfly Pokemon. But Ash calls out, "Now, Butterfree, Psychic on the Psycho Cut. See if you can send it right back." Butterfree grabs onto the Psycho Cut, launching it right back at Alakazam. Sabrina tells Alakazam to dodge it. Alakazam just barely rolls out of the way, but you could tell it's slowing down a lot. It's completely fatigued. That's when Ash calls, "Alright then, Butterfree. Now, get in close. Quickly. Let's finish this off. Bug Buzz!" Butterfree, moving with every single ounce of speed it can, gets in right into Alakazam's face, hitting it with the Bug Buzz. Alakazam is taking massive damage. It tries to hold on, but it can't. Its eyes begin to turn to swirls as it falls down, knocked out. The call is made. Alakazam is no longer able to battle. Butterfree is the winner. The match goes to challenger, champion Ash Ketchum. Ash runs onto the battlefield and just tackles Butterfree, squeezing with everything it's got. Butterfree's own family actually moves on the battlefield too, to hugging it as well. The entire family is just celebrating on their insane victory. Sabrina, returning Alakazam, looks at the Pokeball and thanks her old friend for the hard work it put in. Making her way over to Ash, she actually shakes his hand going, "Ash, that was an amazing battle. Thank you so much." Ash then going, "Well, thank you, Sabrina. I gotta say, that was one of my most exciting battles yet." That's when Brock actually appears next to Ash, presenting Sabrina's father with the same Marsh badge that they gave to him all that time ago. Both Sabrina and her father are looking confused. However, Ash and Brock both explain the situation about how Ash is going to re-earn all of his badges. Both Sabrina and her father are a little taken aback by this, but they both nod. They can respect that, as they both represent Ash with his Marsh badge. Ash is so excited he can't even contain himself. Later on that day, outside the gym, Ash, Misty, Brock, Pikachu, and Butterfree and his family are all waving goodbye to Sabrina, thanking her one last time for the battle before they make their way over to the Pokemon Center. As they leave, Sabrina's father actually says, "Well, Sabrina, can you believe it? The same boy who helped you all that time ago came back and gave you an actual challenge. What do you think?" Sabrina actually cuts her father off, going, "Daddy, please cut the act." This actually shocks her father, going, "What are you talking about?" Sabrina elaborates, going, "You just so happened to pop into the middle of the gym as Ash was coming to challenge my gym? What's going on?" That's when Sabrina's father actually gets a more serious look as he looks at his daughter, going, "You're right. We actually got a call from the Pokemon League. It's them. They're finally making their move." And that's what I'm going to call it now, guys. So, what do you guys think? Ash was able to re-challenge Sabrina for her badge. It was a pretty fun battle. Plus, what's going on with Sabrina's father? Who's he talking about? And should Ash and his friends be concerned? Stay tuned to find out. And now, guys, it's time for my favorite segment of the video, question of the video. So, for this question, I'm going to mess this name up so badly, so I apologize. But at Schulier Patterson 3388 says, if you could bring one Pokemon into the real world, what would it be and why? Okay, well, honestly, I'd probably bring a Pokemon that you could probably consider to be a pet, like in real life, like one of the dog or cat Pokemon. Personally, if I were to have one of those, I would be either one of my favorite Pokemon, Absol, but I feel like that's more of like a leopard kind of thing than anything else, or I'd bring a Growlithe, because honestly, I just love Growlithe so much. They're kind of like my spirit animal, you know? Fiercely loyal, protective, and they just want to try and do what's right, which I can respect. Yeah, but thank you so much, Schulier Patterson 3388. Thank you so much for your question. I appreciate it, means a lot. Well, guys, that concludes this segment of questions of the video. Guys, again, please like, comment, and subscribe, and keep sending in more questions. I love interacting with you guys so much. But with that being said, this is Broken Soul saying, may y'all souls be ever bright. I love you guys. Bye.